This is Robert Kalua with the news on Zodiac. The headlines this hour. Stick around. The Public Affairs Committee has asked President Lazarus Chakwera to move quickly in fixing the economy and root out corruption, which is crippling growth of the economy 1 year later into office of Tonse Alliance. PAC spokesperson Gifford Matonga has told Zodiac that though the meeting which the religious body had with the Malawi leader at Kamuzu Palace, they feel the leader is too slow in making some key decisions that are affecting Malawians. State House Director of Communications, Shoni Kampondeni, says the president will critically look into what PAC has raised. Andrew Viano with more in this report.
Spokesperson for the Public Affairs Committee, PAC, Bishop Gifford Matonga, has told us that the leaders of the quasi-religious organizations raised key issues that they want the president and the Tonse administration to move with speed in addressing. Bishop Matonga says key on the agenda were economic challenges that Malawians are going through and slowness in ending corruption, which happen to be deeply rooted in the country. He said that PAC hopes that the president will address the issues raised in the meeting.
Talks about the issue of the economy. This is something that every Malawian is talking about. Maybe you have heard the expression background, but we know that's talking about the economy. We talked about the issues of our political appointments, the issues to do with who gets appointed. As Malawians have been concerned that somehow it seems some appointments are blood-related. So all those issues are important. The issues of the fight against corruption, these are important issues that are in public domain.
President Chakwera's personal assistant and the State House Director of Communications, Shoni Kampondeni, has told us that the president will critically look into issues raised by the religious leaders.
The president, as you know, promised that he would be a listening president, and he doesn't want to just listen because people have complained. He also wants to be a president that takes the initiative to actually go and solicit views. So he asked PAC to go and solicit the views on areas that need to be improved so that PAC could consolidate all of that, because the president knew that PAC would do a credible report.
This was the second meeting between President Lazarus Chakwera and PAC since Tonse Alliance assumed power last year.
Malawi Revenue Authority MRA says it has instituted investigations on reports that some mining firms smuggle large quantities of minerals which are disguised as samples. MRA's Head of Corporate Affairs, Steve Kapoloma, told the Public Accounts of Committee of Parliament that some companies deliberately give wrong information of the samples that they're exporting. And Committee Chairperson Shadrack Namalomba has since advised MRA to tabulate actual figures of how much has been lost and could be saved if safe reserves are put in place. Chimomi Padata with more in this report.
Malawi Revenue Authority says it has commenced investigations on mining firms that are allegedly declaring less quantities of samples that they export. MRA Head of Corporate Affairs, Stephen Kapoloma, told the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament the authority is training its staff on mining on how to prevent smuggling of precious stones.
There are some transactions that are very suspicious. There have been some samples that have been sent out of the country and in huge quantities, and we have questioned the authenticity of these samples and whether indeed they are samples. And in one or two occasions we have put a stop to such exportation of those samples, and currently some of the mines are under investigation so that we are able to dig these issues to the bottom of the matter.
Committee Chairperson Shadrack Namalomba has since advised MRA to tighten screws in the mining sector as a way of bringing sanity. Namalomba has asked the MRA officials to provide a report to the committee within 7 days with a tabulation of figures on how much revenue the country could realize if best practices are adopted. This is Chimwemwe Padata for Zodiac.
The National Food Reserve Agency, NFRA, says it needs about 17 billion kwacha to restock the country's National Strategic Grain Reserve, SGR, in the current 2021-2022 financial year. But the agency's board chairperson, Dennis Kaleken, says government is yet to disperse funds for this year's maize purchase. All this came to light during a media briefing which NFRA officials held in Lilongwe Wednesday, where the board chairperson also disclosed that political interference had in the past affected the operations of the agency. Madai Sopiri was at the meeting.
Board chairperson for the National Food Reserve Agency, NFRA, Dennis Kalekeni, took some time to explain a number of issues that as a board they found, which he said were choking the smooth operations of the agency. Apart from political interference, some were due to pure negligence, he says.
In summary, we had issues concerning use of funds without any authority for other purposes other than the intended purpose. We had issues of political party fundings. We had issues of misprocurement of goods and services. So quite a number of issues. I'm quite glad to indicate that as a new board, we have cleared most of that rubble.
On the strategic grain reserves, Kalekeni said at the moment they have in stock about 36,000 metric tons of maize with a balance of 117,000 metric tons, which will need about 17 billion kwacha to purchase. He also added that the agency is also in the process of maintaining about 40,000 metric tons space of its silos.
One of the things, again, that we found as a new board was that our silos, most of our silos were in bad shape, particularly those in Mzuzu and Luchenza. They were last used in 2010 and 2011, respectively. So as a new board, we have embarked on full rehabilitation of these silos at a cost of about 1 billion. We think that by October, the work must be completed.
The National Food Reserve Agency was established in 1999 as a trust with the mandate of managing and maintaining the Strategic Grain Reserve, SGR, by holding ready resources in the form of physical grain stocks and funds. For Zodiak, this is Madalitso Piri reporting.
The High Court in Lilongwe has adjourned to October 5th a case involving Democratic Progressive Party DPP top officials who were fired from the party last year for causing divisions. DPP lawyer Emmanuel Teo told the court that there is no need to argue the case in court as the claimers were recently reinstated in the party and the respondents are not prepared for the case.
There are two issues basically. What was supposed to happen today and what has happened. As far as the court is concerned and as far as the claimants are concerned, today was supposed to be a day for a scheduling conference where parties are given an opportunity to plan with the court and all stakeholders for the management of the trial. Issues like how many witnesses will testify, what documents, all those things are managed and the planning is done at a scheduling conference. Now, today, although the court thought there would be a scheduling conference, although the claimants thought there would be a scheduling conference, there has not been any scheduling conference today. The reason why there has been no scheduling conference today is because the DPP as a defendant were never aware that there would be a scheduling conference. There have been a number of unique developments that have happened since April. And one of them was that mediation, on the verge of termination of mediation, the parties were required to agree on what issues were supposed to come to court for determination by the court, for which a scheduling conference would be necessary. Now, in the course of assessing those issues, the party decided to make a prudent and wise decision by rescinding the expulsions and inviting the claimants to come back to the party and take their positions, and to ensure that if there are any issues, those issues have to be dealt according to the practices and traditions of the party. You understand? So those are a few of the unique developments that have taken place. You understand? So although we are not aware of the hearing taking place on a scheduling conference, we are saying that even if we were aware, we would have still come to the court to tell the court that further litigation is not necessary.
Well, the four include Vice President for the South, Kondwan Nankuma, Secretary General Griseda Geoffrey, Treasurer General Japi Mhango, and Member Yusuf Ntenda were all recently reinstated in the party. While insisting on the need for litigation, this is what Nankuma's lawyer had to say.
We appeared here for the scheduling conference. The agenda was supposedly to discuss the way ahead for trial, as well as to talk about what kind of documents we need to produce, as well as witnesses. But unfortunately, that did not take place today because counsel for the defendant was not given adequate notice that the scheduling conference was taking place today. So it was only by chance that he had found out. So he nevertheless still managed to show up, and we managed to agree on a date for the said scheduling conference, as it did not take place today, and it has been adjourned to the 5th of August. So we'll be meeting again on the 5th of August for the scheduling conference, and yeah, we'll take it from there. We are seeking various reliefs for the claimants. Most of them are declaratory orders, as well as other orders. I'm sure most of them are already in the public domain, but the crux of the matter is that our clients have been expelled from the party, and they're seeking various reliefs that would help them to have their rights protected, so that such a thing will not take place again. As you know, they have even been invited back into the party. The expulsions have been rescinded, and counsel for the defendant has argued that there is no need for litigation to take place because the whole litigation revolved around this expulsion of the party of our clients, claimants.
Still with court issues, cross-examination of the second witness in a case which businessman Zamir Karim and Ecobank Malawi head of domestic banking Victoria Chanza are answering charges of fraud, forgery and uttering a false document has completed. The two are said to have forged 150 million kwacha documents in 2015 to secure a loan with Ecobank on the notion that Karim of Pioneer Investments had a contract with the Malawi Police Service. Appearing before Chief Resident Magistrate Patrick Chira Wednesday, police investigator Yotam Banda maintained that the accused did not follow procedure. Director of Public Prosecution, Dr. Stephen Kayuni, says the state will parade two more witnesses on the case.
The witness the points on why the accused persons are in court and why the charges are before the Honorable Court. As the investigator in the matter, he reiterated his points and what he found out in his investigations as to what had happened in the matter and what the allegations were and what conclusions he made. Yesterday when we appeared before the Honorable Court, there were documents that were before court that were supposed to be tendered by the investigator, and there was an objection to that. There is one document from the bank that the bank official has to come and tender, and then there's another document that came from forensic department of the Malawi Police Service that needs to be tendered by the one who authored it. So those were the two issues, and those two witnesses will only testify on that aspect, and that will be the close of the matter.
In Blantyre, state witness Louis Mlangiza has told the High Court that Power Utility Board ESCOM paid 5.2 billion kwacha in supplies that did not follow proper procedures. This is the case where former ESCOM board chairperson Jean Matanga and three others are being accused of floating procurement procedures. You're watching the news here on Zodiac. We'll be back with more after this.
Charismatic Private School. Charismatic Private School is informing the general public that it is opening day and boarding school at Filipina Memorial School. Charismatic School has kindergarten, primary and secondary school. The school has school buses which ferry learners around Lilongwe. Charismatic School has conducive learning environment suiting your child. Charismatic School is situated at Area 22B and Kapini, while Filipina Memorial Boarding School is situated at Area 23 Benito Lilongwe. For more information, contact Charismatic School on the following numbers. Charismatic Filipina, creating brighter society.
I choose to be smart. I choose to live a simple and easy life. I choose not to line up to pay my bills. This is why I go digital. Jump the queue. Pay your Lilongwe Water Board bills through mobile banking. Or you can pay through mobile money, as I always do. You can also check your water bill and balance by simply dialing *253#. With digital payments, you can save time and money. Be smart. Pay your bills on time.
Lilongwe Water Board. Lilongwe Water Board. Portable water all the time for all.
Malawi Assemblies of God University, a reputable university registered and accredited by Malawi government through the National Council for Higher Education, is pleased to announce its August 2021 intake. Programs offered: Faculty of Commerce, Faculty of Education, and Faculty of Theology. For more information, contact 0884 538 163.
Welcome back. A look at the headlines as we continue. PAC challenges President Chakwera to move quickly in fixing economy woes and stamp out corruption. MRA vows to probe some mining firms allegedly smuggling large amounts of minerals disguised as samples. High Court adjourned to October 5th, case involving DPP senior members who were fired from the party last year. And in sports, organizers of the 2022 African Union Sports Council Region 5 to determine venue in September 2021. Moving on with the news, Parliamentary Committee on International Relations has demanded a written presentation from Immigration Department, Minister of Justice, Minister of Homeland Security and Treasury officials into the e-passport contract. Committee Chairperson Patrick Bandawe said after the officials were sent back, the delegation was not ready to appear before the committee, thus decided to adjourn the meeting. The appearance before the committee was bordering around the accumulation of $19 million arrears to Technobrain Global FZE for facilitating the digitization.
We have come up with a resolution that they should come with a presentation to the committee. They came without a presentation, so we want the presentation from all of them so that the committee is aware of exactly what we're deliberating with. This is a very sensitive issue. That's why I've said we have come up with the resolution that they should come up with the presentations, knowing the sensitivity of the issues, the importance of the issues. You know, these issues, they are concerning funds, and these funds belongs to Malawians. And the committee wants to finalize this issue. If there are problems, the problems should be seen. If there are complaints, the complaints should be sent.
Still with Parliament, Public Appointments Committee PAC has finalized confirmation hearings of ambassadors that were recently appointed by President Chakwera. PAC chairperson Joyce Chitsulo is hopeful the ambassadors will execute their duties diligently, as she says they demonstrated high level of competence during the hearings.
When we were inviting them for confirmation hearings, we had requested them to do a presentation on what their vision is like and how they think they'll be able to promote, to promote further the relationship that is there between Malawi and the countries they are going to. And some of the things which we're looking at were issues to do with, sectors like trade, tourism, education and things like those, and how they think they're going to strategize to make sure that those sectors, are really working and are benefiting Malawians when they go there. So we believe they're going to perform according to expectation. I believe that this caliber of people that have been appointed to represent Malawi will not do as you have just explained. Sometimes, it's a problem when people are appointed based on maybe politics only, without looking at what the person has in terms of qualifications and experience. But if you ask me, we are talking of people here or appointees here that really, have been working in very, senior positions within Malawi, some of them outside Malawi, and they are not the caliber of people that will just go there and, do tourism or something like that. No. We believe there are people that are professionals. Like I said already, that we appreciate the fact that, politics aside, the people that were appointed, I believe it was done on merit. And during the interviews, we were convinced. So these are not the type of people that will just go there as tourists. No, definitely they're going to make sure that they meet the expectations. And during our confirmation hearings, we were even asking them to say, when you go there, we'll be monitoring you, we'll be watching, and then see if really Malawi is benefit. I believe they're going to deliver.
Community leaders in Nchisi district have observed that some unfounded beliefs continue to discourage people living with HIV/AIDS from receiving COVID-19 vaccine, which is compromising efforts of containing the spread of the deadly virus. One of the leaders, Benson Chabwera, has appealed to authorities to help sensitizing communities on the importance of vaccine, especially in hard-to-reach areas in the district. Meanwhile, Malawi Network of People Living with HIV and AIDS, MANET Plus, says it will continue engaging communities on the issue. Details with Gift Dupimba.
Vice Chairperson of Persons Living with HIV and AIDS in Nchisi, Benson Chabwera, says it is important that people living with the disease should be in forefront to receive COVID-19 vaccines when they are made available. Chabwera has, however, decried misinformation and disinformation surrounding the administration of JAB, adding it is pulling back people in the district. Meanwhile, Manet Plus has made available assorted items to enhance prevention of COVID-19 to 100 people living with HIV and AIDS in the district. One of the beneficiaries from Traditional Authority Jiloko, Charles Nyalubwe, has commended the support. Gift to Pimba, ZBS, Shisi.
And now to sports. The organizers of the 2022 Africa Union Sports Council Region 5 Sports Games say will determine on the venue which will host the games in September 2021. Chairperson of the committee, Stanley Mutoya, told us today that a recent visit to Malawi has revealed that the country has the capacity to host the games, but some facilities need to be improved. Meanwhile, government, through Ministry of Sports, has committed to follow all recommendations made by the organizers to ensure the country successfully hosts the games. Bright Kanyama with more.
Malawi is expected to host the 2022 African Union Sports Council Region 5 Youth Games in December in Lilongwe. The organizers of the games, led by Chairperson Stanley Mutoya from Zimbabwe, were in the country some 2 weeks ago and visited venues earmarked to host the games and made some recommendations before announcing the hosting venues. In an interview today, Mutoya told us that the committee has agreed that it will announce the hosting venues later next month, but admitted that some of the facilities they visited need to be improved. Among a host of venues they visited include Bingu National, Sivo, Silva and Nankaka Stadiums, Don Bosco Youth Center, Kamuzu Institute for Sports, where an aquatic sport facility is being constructed, and Griffin Saenda Sports Complex being constructed near Bingu National Stadium in Lilongwe.
We looked at, for example, for each sport court, there were more than one facility we looked at. So now it's a question of them saying, the works that we said need to be done on this one, on that one, on that one, which ones can they do so that they settle for that. When we then get there in October, we are able now to definitively say to you, football is going to be at that facility and that facility, because we have allowed the government now to consider what we talked about.
Meanwhile, government through the Ministry of Sports recently committed to follow all recommendations made by the committee to ensure the country successfully hosts the games next year. Region 5 Youth Games, which were established in 2004, were formed to encourage youth sports persons to develop and represent their nations in future. For Zodiac, this is Bright Kanyama.
And that's about what we had time for in this edition of news. But before we go, let's take a look at the headlines. PAC challenges President Chakwera to move quickly in fixing economy woes and stamp out corruption. MRA vows to probe some mining firms allegedly smuggling large amounts of minerals disguised as samples. High Court adjourns to October 5th case involving DPP senior members who were fired from the party last year. And in sports, organizers of the 2022 African Union Sports Council Region 5 sports camps to determine venue in September 2021. Visit our website, zodiacmalawi.com for more news. My name is Robert Karua. Thanks for watching.
At Mukuru, we make local money transfers easy. With over 600 Mukuru Orange booths and branches, you can easily send and receive money from friends and family anywhere in Malawi. Plus, there's more great news. This August, we're giving away 10 million kwacha in airtime. All local money transfer senders will get a guaranteed 1,000 kwacha airtime when they send with Mukuru. Visit your nearest Mukuru Orange booth or branch to send money locally today. Mukuru. T's and C's apply. Promo ends 31 August.
Social media tends to blur fact and fiction, but Zodiac Online